name is Emerald, and Stranger Things has maybe my favorite cast of characters of any show ever. It's why the show is one of my favorites of all time, and I know it's very popular, but I don't say that lightly. I take my TV watching very seriously. I remember watching Stranger Things for the first time. I think it had to be the weekend it first dropped on Netflix. I hadn't heard anything about it, hadn't seen the trailer, and thought, oh, I'll just watch the first episode, see if I like it. And I was hooked. And one of the things I loved about it so much was the characters, because I'm the type of person that's always yelling at the TV when people are doing something stupid. Don't do this, oh, do that, don't walk into the basement where the murder is. But with Stranger Things, I remember just thinking to myself, oh my god, all these people, from the kids to the teens to the adults, are so competent. Everybody's on their game, figuring things out. And now, obviously, we're in the 4th season, new people have come in, and I still really love all of the characters. I think everybody has their different strengths that they bring to the table and is useful for the team, and it's just been so much fun to watch the show evolve season after season. And so because I love it so much, I really wanted to do some kind of video about it. I wanted to do something Stranger Things related while I wait very anxiously for the final 2 episodes. So when I saw Trin Lovell's recent video where she kind of did her own deep dive into Stranger Things, part of her video was doing a ranking of the characters, and I thought, oh, that's perfect. I can talk about the show and specifically about my favorite part of the show, which is, again, the characters. So here we are. I think I'm going to be using the same tier thing that she used. I chose one that had characters up to season 3. I didn't want to go into season 4 yet because it's not done. We still have 2 more episodes, and there's still a lot of time for things to be revealed about those new characters. Don't know which way they're gonna go. Don't know if I can fully trust them yet. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, can you really trust anybody in this world? However, I may mention things about season 4 here and there. Try not to mention any big spoilers, but if you don't want to hear absolutely anything about season 4, then maybe this isn't the video for you. That all being said, let's get into some rankings. So we got a bunch of characters at the bottom. We have best of the best, fantastic, good, meh, terrible. Looks like first up is Barb, the fan favorite from season 1. It pleasantly surprised me how much love Barb got and how many people rallied behind her. As somebody who was a quiet, unpopular, bookwormy nerd in high school, I love seeing everybody rally around this quiet, nerdy, unpopular, bookwormy character. Barb was truly a win for the quiet, nerdy girls. Dare I say it, Barb Holland walked so Lexi Howard could run. We have now seen that the quiet background girls can come forward, can end the evils in this world like Nate Jacobs. Unfortunately, Barb cannot defeat the Demogorgon. Barb seemed like a great friend to Nancy. I love that she stuck around and waited for Nancy. Buddy system, very important. Now, this may be controversial. I feel like a lot of people would put Barb in one of the top 2 tiers. But we only saw a little bit of her. She was only in the first couple episodes. And while, like I said, she seemed like a great person and a great friend, I just don't feel like I knew enough about her to put her in the top 2 tiers, especially because I know that there's going to be plenty of other characters that we know more about that are going to be in that tier. So I am gonna put Barb in good. She's right in the middle. I feel like if Barb had stuck around, she really could have been a strong member of the team. We just don't know for sure. Now we have Billy. This is an easy one. He's terrible. He's horrible to his little sister. He makes Max believe that them moving and all of the instability in the house is her fault, which is a terrible thing to tell a child. He literally almost runs over other children, not to mention the fact that he is blatantly racist towards Lucas and attacks him. I do not understand, cannot justify this character. Yes, his father is terrible and abusive, and he's had a hard childhood. Can totally empathize on that level. However, just because you go through difficulties does not mean that you can abuse children. There are plenty of people in the world who have gone through hardships and are still not complete a-holes, especially, I will emphasize again, to children. Have I used the nearly throw hands with a 13-year-old meme? Sure. Would I ever actually throw hands with a 13-year-old? No. He physically attacks a child. There's no. Absolutely not. Immediately no. Jail, bottom tier. Goodbye. Trash. Next up, we have Bob. Poor Bob. Bob just wanted to be a sweet man, marry Joyce, take care of her boys, and move to, like, Maine or something. He did not deserve his fate. To be completely honest, I was really suspicious about Bob in the beginning of season 2. He was just too good, too nice. And again, can you trust people? I was like, there's something going on there. Either he's evil or he's gonna die. He's too good for this world. But Bob went out sacrificing himself. He stayed behind in the lab. That way he can watch out and guide everybody else out of it. And if he had just kept running, he probably would have made it out alive. Bob was a key player in season 2. He gave Will that pep talk and tried to help him out. That kind of backfired. He was able to figure out that Will's drawings were a map. And then, of course, like I mentioned, staying behind the lab. So I think Bob deserves to be at the fantastic tier. He did a lot in the time that he was given. Helped save the day. Truly, Bob Newby, superhero. Next up, we have Dustin. Dustin, I think, is my favorite of the kids. He's so funny and also very smart and really the heart of their little team. He tries to bring Mike and Lucas back together in season 1. He's always very good at putting things together science-wise, like with the compasses. And this scene at the snowball where he's just trying to find someone to dance with, oh my god, breaks my heart. He has had his frustrating moments when he was hiding the little baby dog in season 2. I was like, come on, Dustin. But even that came back to be helpful because he was able to get everybody around the dog when they were in the tunnel. And so if he hadn't formed that bond, then they probably would have gotten killed by it. So even that mistake turned out to be useful. And oh my god, the Never Ending Story song. I was simultaneously frustrated how much time it was sucking up when there was absolutely no time to waste, but also crying. I was laughing so hard. He did a lot of good work in season 3 with Steve and Robin and Erica figuring out all the stuff with the Russians underneath the mall. His bond with Steve is awesome. It's such a source for comedy. So Dustin is going in top tier, best of the best. Next up is Miss 11 herself. Truly top tier girly. I could go on, but I feel like I don't really even need to. Like, of course, 11 is best of the best. She saves everybody constantly. 11 is great. She is loyal. She is strong. She kicks ass. Now, here is a child that has gone through abuse, gone through horrific things, and is still loving, trying her best, just wants to be a normal kid and chill and have fun with her friends. And I truly hope one day she can have some serotonin as a treat. 11 in season 1, where she is trying to keep the boys from getting to the lab/gate in order to protect them and messing with the compasses to do so. Literal definition of girl boss cats, like gatekeep. Sticks up for herself and her friends. I love in season 2, Callie says to her, they can't save you. And she says, no, I can save them. And even though she's been on this like journey of independence, she still goes back and helps her friends. Ugh, I love it so much. Truly best of the best. Next up is Erica Sinclair. I love Erica. Everything that comes out of her mouth just cracks me up. This is a girl that knows what she wants and will not back down until she gets what she wants, and I respect that so much. I mean, Erica literally put her life at risk just for the promise of ice cream, and yeah, I get it. She has so much tenacity for a kid. She really keeps everybody humble and puts them in their place. I'm torn between the top 2 only because, no doubt, a great character. I still like to be in the top level. I would like her to bring more to the team. I really think she's going to be key in the final 2 episodes. The things that they're doing in the very beginning of the first episodes always reflect somehow the rest of the season. Season 4 in episode 1, Erica was the one to win the D&D game. So I really think that she's going to be key in defeating Vecna. I am going to put her in Fantastic, and it's not for lack of effort. She just hasn't really been, like, in season 3, obviously she was in the Scoops troop in terms of like helping them figure things out, which she just hasn't had the opportunity so much to do yet. May change, but that's where I'm going to keep her for now. Next up is Hopper. Now, Hopper, I have some beef with. I'm kind of Arby's here. Season 1, Hopper, loved him. He was suspicious, which is always a good way to be. He came around to help Joyce pretty quick. He was punching people out, figuring out answers. He did turn on the kids and on 11, but I think he did make up for that by taking her in. And then season 2, him and 11 had such an adorable dynamic living in the cabin, their father-daughter relationship in seasons 2 and 3. I really do love it. You know, he's this tough police officer, but yet he is so soft for this little girl, and then also kind of at times at the mercy of this little girl because of her powers. Them butting heads was very interesting. I love that dynamic. But season 3 Hopper, oh boy, season 3 Hopper, it felt so very out of character. And yeah, I know he had that thing with Joyce. He was mad that she stood him up, but as soon as she said, hey, I think there's something going on regarding the lab, that should have been immediate, serious. Not only does he question just Joyce in general, which at this point, Joyce has never been wrong. Why are you doubting her? Why are you being so mean to her? And then 2, he actually questions why their kids would be in danger. Sir, have you seen the past 2 seasons? Your kid isn't allowed to leave the house because she's in constant danger, and Joyce's kid was literally possessed by a monster. What the hell do you mean, why would your kids be in danger? That didn't make sense at all for a writing, character development standpoint. Oh my god, it frustrated me. So much so that I honestly was not even that bothered when he got zapped by the laser. What should have been a very emotional moment, oh man, this character that I care about is now gone. It was, oh my god, he's been so annoying this past 8 hours. Any emotion I felt toward this character up to this point has evaporated, just like he did. He was still helpful in season 3. He kicked Carrie Elwes's ass. That was very fun to watch, and got them in and did sacrifice himself in the end, kind of. Unfortunately, season 3 has knocked him down to just Fantastic. I'm not gonna put him in good because I don't think seasons 1 and 2 are completely negated from season 3. I don't think he should be knocked down below Fantastic, but oh boy, season 3, man. Season 3 is my least favorite of the seasons, and that's a big reason why. Next up, we have Jonathan. Jonathan, of course, Will's older brother, and Jonathan is... He's there. He's smart. I think Nancy usually does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of figuring things out. In season 1, he noticed something weird in the photos. Season 2, he was a very nice older brother. It was like Nancy who spearheaded them going off and recording. I like Jonathan. I think he's a good kid. You know, I honestly, of all of the main characters, I think he brings the least to the table. I don't think he's a bad character. He always plays like the moral support role, whether it's to Will or to Nancy. They had an interesting dynamic in season 3 when Nancy was battling with the sexism at the newspaper office. And I do think he could have tried to have understood where she was coming from more, but I don't think he was completely wrong either in pointing out Nancy's privilege and the fact that he couldn't be picky about his job or as righteous because he needed the money. I think they were 2 important perspectives. I think he's a good older brother. Again, a character who has been through an unstable home life, and he doesn't go around fighting children. He's super loving to his brother. And I think that's great. I think he's just good. I think if this was ranking characters in terms of how good of people they were, which I guess it could have been because it's just a template and I can interpret it how I want. But for me, I'm ranking the characters and how much I like them. And if you haven't picked up by now, I place high importance on what people bring to the table and their competency. Half my chart is Capricorn. Don't blame me for it. I'm leaving Jonathan in the middle tier. He's good. He's a good guy. He is a good big brother. He's a good boyfriend. Next up, we have the queen herself, Miss Joyce Byers. How do I describe Joyce Byers without going on, what's the positive version of a rant? I love Joyce so much. Joyce is never wrong. Joyce is so good at just like making these big leaps, thinking outside the box. She is a mother. She takes an 11 when Hopper goes bye-bye. No matter how many times she is proven right, she still faces doubters and haters. She will cross the globe for her man, go into dangerous alternate universe for her child, nail Christmas lights to her wall, and completely wreck her house with her art projects season after season. Joyce is as devoted to her art projects as she is to her children, and it makes sense why Will is the artist that he is. Joyce is one of the best, if not the all-time best, parents of TV history. I will throw hands to defend Joyce Byers. If you don't like Joyce Byers, we got beef. Even more beef than I have with season 3 Hopper. We got a full-on steakhouse. Oh my god, Winona Ryder's performance is just, she brings so much heart to this role. I love Joyce Byers. I could make an hour video about Joyce Byers. But unfortunately, we got the rest of these jabronis to talk about, so Joyce, best of the best. Next, we have Callie, aka 8 from season 2. I believe she is a very controversial figure because everybody hated the backdoor pilot-esque episode from season 2. Season 2 is my favorite season. I think it's more exciting than season 1. It would have been more well received if they hadn't put all of the scenes with 8 and her gang and 11. If that had just been incorporated like any other plot line where you go back and forth from that to the rest of the characters. It's complicated because it comes in a spot, you leave it off, where you have the twist where you find out that Will has been taken over by the Mind Flayer and he's acting as a spy. I love a good plot twist. I remember just being completely shook. And then you immediately leave it and you don't know what's happening for full other episode, which ups the tension. That being said, as a standalone episode, I didn't dislike it. I thought it was very interesting to see another superpowered person's abilities. I thought it was cool watching her train 11 and 11 kind of trying to figure herself out even more. Still work out this idea of what is home, where do I belong. Callie herself, like Barb, I feel like I don't really know her that well. She did a lot of good things for 11 in building her confidence and her abilities. She's gone through a lot and she tries to right wrongs. I don't like when she says to 11, oh, there's nothing for you there, because it's very dismissive about what 11 has gone through and the people that care about her. I think she's a very interesting character and I think she's a very complex character, and that makes me hesitate to put her in meh. But then I also don't think she's at the same level as Jonathan. I don't know if she's as good of a friend as Barb. Everybody in that gang looked like they take care of each other, but then, like I said, she was also kind of dismissive of 11. I don't know. I may move her later. I'm gonna put her in good. Part of me feels like that's high, but then it's also in the middle, and because I can't figure out what to do with her, I feel like the middle is kind of where to put her. I don't know. That might change, but we're gonna move on for the sake of time because I've literally been deliberating about this for 10 minutes, so. All right, next we have Lonnie, who is Will and Jonathan's dad. He was a terrible husband, terrible father. He left his family, tried to make money off his son's death, and gaslighted his ex-wife. So, terrible tier. Be gone with thee. No, who's next? Next is Lucas and Claire. I love Lucas. He's got such a good head on his shoulders. He's definitely the rational one of the group. His dynamic with Max was one of my favorite parts of season 2. I love their heart to heart on top of the bus. Lucas is always very rational, very clear-headed. I think some people disliked him in season 1 because he was hesitant about 11. Lucas, mate, we got it. You can't trust people, especially people you've just met, who have special powers and are bringing dangers around you and your friends. I don't blame him at all for being skeptical. He goes off on his own, which was so brave, to try to figure things out at the lab. As soon as he realized that his friends were in danger, he went back and he got them. I was so happy for him at the basketball game and that he won. You know what? I think it's going to be a Sinclair sibling team up because he won the basketball game while Erica won the D&D game. Power sibling duo. And I know they had like their board game to do, but I really felt bad that none of his friends went to his basketball game. His heart-to-heart with Max in season 4 honestly had me choked up. I think Lucas is a great character. In terms of helping out the team, he's always been really helpful and competent. Lucas, best of the best. I think he's doing a great job. Good job, Lucas. Which brings us to Max. I love Max. I think she was such a fun addition to season 2. I thought it was great to not only bring in another girl who's very different than 11, but somebody who really keeps the boys in line and puts them in their place. The scene where she drugs Billy, she saves Steve, she saves all the kids, and then she grabs the car keys and she's like, we're going, and she drives the damn car! Oh my god, it's funny and it's also just impressive. Oh, I love her. She takes no crap. I love her and 11's mall montage in season 3. 11 has to deal with a lot. There's not a lot about her life that can be normal, but Max helped her experience what a normal summer could be like for a young girl. Sleepovers and trying on clothes and gossiping. True, fun childhood stuff, which I think 11 really needed. I do think she was a bit callous with 11's powers in season 3. Max was right where 11 should be able to determine how she uses her powers. We've seen that 11 wants to be accepted by her friends and wants to help her friends, and so she will push herself if it means helping her friends. And Max did have that moment, I think it's when they first get to the mall, or something where she says like, oh, what's the worst that can happen? Girlie, you nearly died from getting attacked by monsters just a few months before. A pretty bad thing to happen. I don't think that was too big of an issue to knock her down. I really need to see Max do some skateboarding cool tricks in the Upside Down at some point. I mean, if she doesn't, then what was this all for then? So yeah, I think I'm gonna put Max in best of the best. And next we have Mike. Mike is a character that I feel like it's reverse character developing. Everybody else is getting smarter, stronger, more competent, and I feel like Mike is just always at odds with somebody. It's like, be a team player, man. He's rude to Will in season 3. I really like Mike in season 1 and season 2. He brings a lot of heart. Season 2, he's such a really dedicated friend to Will, staying by Will's side, knowing that something's up and not just letting it go and taking the extra step to go and visit Will. I do think he cares a lot about the people around him, and I think that's good. I just feel like he's not bringing as much to the table. It's one thing to just be like a Jonathan and you're like, I bring the moral support. You know what I mean? And it's another thing to like, you're not even bringing the moral support because you're bringing the morale down. He's pissing off 11, hurting Will's feelings. At this point, I need more. It's giving nothing. Do something. But I don't want to put him in that. And that seems too low. And I feel like it negates all the good he did in seasons 1 and 2. If I was just going on seasons 1 and 2, I think I would put him fantastic. You can get back there, Mike. I really think you can. I have faith that you can do it. But until then, you're chilling with this crew. Next, we have Karen. Oh, Karen. In season 1, she's begging her kids to talk to her. Season 2, she takes a bath. She's trying to get through to Mike. Season 3, Karen, we got, I think, really interesting insight to her character because we saw her almost cheat with Billy. I don't know at that point if he was graduated from high school or if he was still in high school. Either way, obviously an icky age difference. She realizes that It would be wrong for her to have an affair. And her heart-to-heart with Nancy, I think, was really important. Again, offered an interesting insight to her character. Karen is dying for some excitement, and I hope she gets there. I feel like at some point Karen's gotta get involved, like see something, you know? She's on the edges. She's constantly on the fringes. Get her in the game. A lot of ways you could say that she's not the best parent. Oh, well, they left the house, so what can you do? Well, Karen, why don't you actually, like, parent them? Okay, just throwing something out there. Do I think she's meh, or do I think she's good? I think if this was just on seasons 1 and 2, I would put her in the meh tier. But season 3, I did like the insight into her character. So I'm gonna put her in good with their son. You chill there. Okay. Now we have Murray. I like Murray. I think what he brings to the table is not the conspiracy theory knowledge, but calling people out on their romantic tension. He's kind of kooky. And I think he's funny. I think he's good. I don't know if I think he's fantastic. He's a little too, I don't know if cartoonish is the right word, but like a little goofy. Maybe he can be a little bit of a know-it-all. I don't know. There's something about like personality-wise, but I'm still keeping him good. He's still funny and he's useful. Now we have Nancy. I love Nancy. I think she has had such fantastic growth, going from quiet, studious to this weapon-wielding, clue-hunting badass that we know and love today. Something happens with her best friend and she's on it. She figured out the Demogorgon was like a shark with the blood. She figures out how to record them in the lab. I thought that was so genius, and that was a moment where at first I was like, oh, that was really stupid of them to have a conversation over the phone. And then it was all part of the plan. Oh, so smart, Nancy. In season 3, she sticks to her guns and her instinct and is key in figuring out the weird behaviors with Mrs. Driscoll. Without that, they would have not known about the hive mind and all the people getting taken over. I love Nancy. I think she's great. I think she does great work. She does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of figuring things out, putting, I think, everything together. Personality-wise, I think she's really great. Kind, and she's caring. She seems like a very good person. So I think she truly is the best of the best. And next, we have Robin. I love Robin. I think she's so funny. I love her dynamic with Steve. I think having somebody kind of like call him out on his stuff was in a way that's different than his dynamic with Dustin. It was really smart and really fun to watch play out over the course of season 3. Her coming out to Steve was a really beautiful scene, and I know it meant a lot to people to see that representation. I really like Robin. I think she's great. I think she's funny. She's very smart. She did great at figuring out the Russian. I do think it was a little fast. Like, they put that together really quickly. I think she's good. Awkward girl representation. I'm gonna put her in fantastic just because it's mainly on the first 3 seasons. I think she's a great character, and she definitely has done things that has helped a lot, but I do think to get to that top tier, I want to see more. I think if I was doing this at the end of season 4, I probably would put her in best of the best. No, I think she's fantastic. And now we have Mr. Clark. I think he's a great teacher. I love how supportive he is of the kids. You know, you can call him at 10 o'clock at night on a weekend and he's still gonna be pleasant and answer your questions. I know if a child was calling me at 10 p.m., maybe I would be throwing hands. Not just a very helpful character, a very smart and competent character. Seems like a really genuinely sweet and nice guy. I wish him nothing but the best. Part of me wants to see him involved in a bigger way just because he loves science so much, and I think he would be really excited to see upside down elements or know that they exist. But that being said, it's also usually negative and putting people's lives in danger, and I don't want his life to be endangered. So he is still a side character, so I don't think he has earned the ranks of the top 2 yet. Good guy, good character. Now we have Alexei, who was the fan favorite of season 3, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really get it. I feel like that's hot take. I don't know. Let me know why you love Alexi so much in the comments, because I mean, I think he was fine. Truly, I think he's gonna be the first and maybe the only character to go in Met, just because that's how I really feel. He's there, you know? He helped out a little. It was not so much because like he wanted to help, then he was fearing for his life. I mean, I feel really bad that he died. I don't think he deserved to die. I think that was a sad scene where he wins the game. He was so excited for the game and his little Woody Woodpecker. But that being said, like without that specific fair scene, I don't think I would have felt as sad as I did that he died. I don't think he did that much. I don't know what he did to warrant the celebration that he got online. He liked 7-Eleven slushies? Who doesn't? I mean, RIP, don't think he should have died. Truly a character I feel Met about, so fitting here. On a completely different note, my man, Steve. Maybe my least favorite line in the entire show was in season 2 when Murray says, "We like Steve, but we don't love Steve." Excuse me. I love Steve. A lot of people love Steve. Should I knock him down from Met for that? Now, season 1 Steve was a jerk. Steve has had the best character development on this show. Truly went from stereotypical jock, jerk, boyfriend to not only a guy with a great heart, has grown in responsibility and grown in competency, but he's so caring to the kids. I would be remiss if I didn't mention his babysitting. I know everyone talks about Babysitter Steve, but it's true. And in season 4, when he says, "Oh, why am I always the babysitter?" My guy, it's because you care about these kids more than their siblings do. I mean, Jonathan cares about Will, but I don't think he cares about any of the rest of them. And Nancy has been consistently F them kids. I got an investigation to do since season 1. Her and Jonathan literally left the kids in the gym alone, knowing that there were Demogorgons and evil corporation-y people after them. And I won't knock them for that because they were doing it to distract Demogorgon. And without it, Hopper and Joyce probably wouldn't have been able to get to Will. But still, I completely left the kids alone. Steve's dynamic with Dustin is amazing. His dynamic with all the kids. Really cares about these kids and watching out for them. That's truly what he brings to the table. Being loyal and watching out for everybody. Season 1 and the beginning of season 2, I felt about him okay. Like, he's funny and he's cute, but it wasn't until he teamed up with Dustin and really got involved with the gang that I started to love him, and I love him so much. At the end of season 2, doesn't even seem that upset when he realizes that Nancy prefers Jonathan. They have that moment where he's like, "It's okay, Nance, like, go with him," which was so emotionally mature. He fights Billy to protect the kid. In season 4, when everybody else is too busy, he goes back and he watches the basketball game to support Lucas, and also Robin because she's in the band. He's just there, he's just supporting his friends. He's just a really good person. The entire Scoops troop dynamic in season 3 is great. Great with Robin in the coming out scene. I just think he has it all. Like, he brings something to the table. He has competency. I know that's important. And maybe he's not like the smartest. Yes, he loses fights. Like, his skill set is watching out for the team. The team needs to be rounded out. It can't always be book smarty people who are good at figuring things out like Nancy, or people who are the muscle like Hopper and, Eleven. You need heart, and I think Steve brings the heart. He's also just such a funny character. So Steve is going in my top tier. I'm putting him in best of the best. I'm a Steve girl. I'm such a Steve girl, such a Steve fan. If Steve has one fan, I am one of them. If Steve has no fans, then I'm no longer on this earth. Next, we have the bully from season 1 who pees his pants. I don't remember his name. He was just a mean kid. We didn't even see any development. Not only was he just a mean bully with words or your standard bully behavior of pushing and whatever, he held a knife to Dustin? That was very extreme for a 12-year-old. I thought, especially for like suburban Indiana, to pull Shanks out, threatening Dustin in order to get Mike to jump off a cliff. That cliff was no joke. That's a scene as an adult watching it that frightens me kind of more than some of the Demogorgon-y sci-fi aspects, just because I could see that happening in real life, right? Like a kid daring another kid to do something dangerous. At 11 or 12, you might see that jump, oh, I might get hurt from this, but you might not think you're gonna die from it. Oh, it just makes me nervous. I don't know, it feels a little extreme to put this kid at the same level as a racist who attacks children and this man who abandons and emotionally abuses his family. But he's still a bully. I don't know. I mean, he might not be the same level of terrible, but he's still terrible. This is the Pokemon evolution, right? Like, you start off as a bully, pulling knives on other children, and then the next thing you know, you're grown and you're nearly running over children or physically assaulting children. And then, if you wind up having children yourself, you emotionally abuse them and leave them. That's the cycle there, and we do not like to see it. Kid whose name I don't remember, and honestly, I don't care to remember it. You are going in the terrible tier. Have fun. I hope you reflect on your life choices, and you don't end up like the other two in that level. Let this be a lesson. Let this be the scared straight of it all. And last but not least, we have the kid who in a lot of ways started it all, Mr. Will Byers. Poor Will has had a tough time, to say the least. I still honestly do not understand how he survived in the Upside Down for as long as he did. And what did he eat? I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where if I think too hard about it, it doesn't make sense and the show unravels, but we'll just suspend our disbelief. And then season 2, I thought, and I still think, that Noah Schnapp deserved an Emmy for season 2 because I think he was doing just as much acting, heavy lifting as Millie Bobby Brown. I mean, he was so creepy, possessed. I was more afraid of Will possessed than I was of Billy possessed. Now, I feel like in seasons 1 and 2, it was hard to get a handle on Will as a character because, well, obviously he wasn't really around in season 1. In season 2, poor Will going through tough times again. And so I was excited for season 3 to really see his character come through. And I was a bit disappointed, to be honest, because he was kind of whiny. I feel bad for saying that, because again, I know he's been through a lot, but gosh darn it, kid, take a break on the D&D. Going into season 4, I was like, the world's gonna literally be on fire, and Will's gonna be like, hey guys, you think we can get one more campaign in? And then I didn't like, and I know that there's probably, you know, more behind this emotionally. He calls 11 a stupid girl. And again, I get he's hurt, but I'm sorry. This girl has saved her life 2 times. Twice. If it wasn't for this girl, you would have been eaten by a Demogorgon. If it wasn't for this girl, you would be possessed forever by the Mind Flayer. Dude, put respect on the name. I'm sorry about you're going through a tough time emotionally, but you still need to remember why you are still standing here in that god-awful wizard's outfit, looking like an embarrassment. You're able to do that because of that stupid girl. So just remember that, child. I need Will to bring something to the table now. Seasons 1 and 2, you get a pass. You were going through things. Season 3, what did he do? Season 4, what has he been doing? Will, I know you're a smart kid. I know you're a competent kid. I know you can draw. Bring something to the table to help out the team. I really want to see Will become an active member and not just the kid in the background who's pissy about what everybody else is doing. No matter how much that pissiness is justified, deeper emotions at play, and I respect that and I understand that. I still need more. I don't think I could put him in fantastic. Certainly not best of the best. But I'm gonna put him in good. He's definitely not meh, but I don't think he's fantastic yet.
You need to leave!
I really feel bad for him, but that's not enough, right? I can't just put him in a higher tier because I feel bad for him. I don't want him to be there out of pity. You need to earn your higher tier location, Will. A lot of people have said that the writers have sidelined Will. I just think that once it got to the point where, you know, they had him in danger for the first 2 seasons, and then they were like, well, he can't be in danger again. But then it's like they didn't know what to do with him. I know he's smart. I know he has skills he could bring to the table. Give this kid something to do. For now, he's gonna remain in the good tier. So that is my ranking. Do you agree with how I ranked people? Too high, too low? Let me know where you would rank the characters and why. There are definitely characters I could see moving tiers, some people I was on the fence about. At the end of the day, I do think it's a great cast of characters, a good, well-rounded group of bringing different strengths to the table, and I'm really excited to see how they're gonna hopefully save the day in the last 2 episodes of season 4. I can't wait. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Truly learn more about myself, like how I place such a high priority on people's competency and usefulness. Should I do that less? Maybe. Should I get over those trust issues? Probably. Will I do either of those things? Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is like for the first, just want to dive into that. I don't know. Oh my god.